Have you ever had this deep, incredible sense of joy and then it just kind of fades away? It's something we all go through, right? Well, today we're going to dive into how we can get that feeling back, and we'll be using some ancient wisdom from Psalm 51 to guide us. I want you to just think for a second. Think about a time you felt completely alive. Everything just felt bright and full of potential. Now hold that thought and compare it to a time when all that color just drained away, leaving this kind of dull, empty feeling inside. That's the loss of joy we're talking about here. It's not just being sad for a day, it's a deep, gut-level feeling of being disconnected. And that emptiness, it almost always comes from feeling untethered. It's like the rope that connects your heart to everything, to the world, to other people, to your own purpose, has just started to fray. You might be going through the motions, doing all the right things on the outside, but inside, your heart just feels adrift, kind of lost in a sea of gray. Okay, so this is a really important distinction we need to make. Happiness and joy are not the same thing. Think of it like this. Getting a promotion at work, that's happiness. It's awesome, but it's based on something that happened. Joy, on the other hand, that's the deep, steady love you feel for your family, even on a tough day. See the difference? Happiness often depends on our circumstances, which can change in a heartbeat. Joy is this deeper, more constant state that comes from within, from a spiritual connection. So, if joy is this deep internal thing, how do we possibly get it back when we feel like it's gone? Well, this ancient plea from Psalm 51 gives us a huge clue. The writer, King David, he isn't asking for a new car or a winning lottery ticket. He's not asking for happiness. He's making this incredibly profound request to have his inner joy, that deep connection to God, restored. And that's the big takeaway right there. This tells us that true, lasting joy isn't something we can just create ourselves or buy off a shelf. It's more like a gift that flows from a deep spiritual connection. So when that connection gets weak or broken, the joy just naturally fades. To get it back, we need something much bigger than a change in our situation. We actually need a change of heart. All right, so if this deep internal joy is what we're really after, what's the secret? How do we find our way back when we feel lost? Well, the text we're looking at gives us a pretty clear roadmap. It hands us a key to unlock that door to renewal. And that key is a word that can sound a little heavy: repentance. Now, I know that word can feel intimidating, but let's just strip away all the baggage for a second. At its core, repentance is simply making a U-turn. That's it. It's recognizing you're heading in a direction that's leading you away from connection and joy, and then making the conscious choice to turn back around. And this U-turn, this process, really breaks down into 3 simple but powerful steps. First, you just have to acknowledge it. That takes some real, raw honesty to just admit to yourself, yeah, something's not right. I feel disconnected. Then comes the turn. That's the moment you actually decide to change direction. And finally, and this can be the hardest part, you open yourself up to receive, to let go of the controls and just allow that renewal, that forgiveness to happen. This is so important to understand. This process is not about beating yourself up or wallowing in guilt over past mistakes. It's about redirection. Imagine you're the captain of a ship and you've drifted off course. The point isn't to dwell on the storm that pushed you off track. It's about calmly and deliberately turning the wheel back towards your true north. It's an act of hope, not an act of shame. The really beautiful thing about all of this is that it doesn't require some huge, dramatic gesture. It all starts with one small, sincere step. One quiet moment of acknowledging, I need a change. One simple decision to turn. That's it. That's the tiny spark that can light the fire of renewal in your life. So what's waiting for us on the other side of this journey? Well, it's pretty amazing. Your joy gets restored. And notice the word is restored, not found. It was yours all along. Your sense of purpose feels fresh again. That vital connection is reestablished. And you get the chance for a true, genuine, fresh start. It's like your broken pieces are put back together, but they're stronger and more beautiful than before. Ultimately, this journey isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. It's really about a new way of living. It's like tending to a garden. You're constantly nurturing those seeds of joy, staying connected, and pulling out the weeds of disconnection that will inevitably pop up. It becomes a daily practice that builds this inner peace, this fortress of joy that can really withstand the storms of life. So as we close this out, I want to leave you with a question to just sit with for a moment. If you're feeling any of that disconnection we've been talking about, what's one small, simple step you could take today to start turning back towards joy?
It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be a start.